Two NFL player props here on PrizePicks for Sunday, September 17th. Before I get started, you guys, check out the link in the description below. You can sign up for our premium Discord. $9.30 per month is where I post all the plays I'm making on PrizePicks. I also have other premium cappers in there that post all of their plays, research, and analysis. Again, super positive community in there. Everyone just trying to help each other cash. Check out the link in the description below to sign up, you guys. We're over 200 members now in the premium side. So, again, go ahead and check out that link in the description. Again, I also need to mention I'm not a gambling expert, and this is not financial advice. These are simply just plays I'm personally looking at making. Hopefully, give you guys some insight and analysis to then make your own player prop decisions here. Again, no one is pressing submit on those parlays other than yourselves. But let's get into it, you guys. Two NFL player props here for Sunday, September 17th. I don't want to waste any time. Let's just get right into it. So the first play here is going to be a fantasy score prop. Both these plays are going to be quarterback props. The first one is going to be Jared Goff over 17.5 fantasy versus the Seattle Seahawks at home. So quick look at Jared Goff's last five. He's over this 22 and 27.7. He finished with 14.02 fantasy score against the Kansas City Chiefs in that opening day upset that the Detroit Lions did win that game, and overall, it was a pretty good game for Jared Goff. He managed the game very, very well. But I definitely think Jared Goff has become kind of extremely underrated as a quarterback and as a former number one overall pick. First of all, when looking at this game, it's a 47 over/under, which is one of the higher on the days. I believe this is probably the second highest over/under on the day. Let's actually take a fact check on this. So I definitely know Kansas City, Jacksonville is the highest at 51, but I think besides that, Las Vegas Buffalo's at 47 as well. Minnesota Philadelphia already happened. So again, tied for the second highest over under of any game on the slate. It is being played in Detroit, which is in a domed stadium, which really goes to my analysis here and why I like this play. So we take a look at Jared Goff, right? Last season with the Detroit Lions, they had a very, very explosive offense. We know they had a very, very explosive offense, top three in like almost every statistical output category. And we take a look at Jared Goff last season in games when he played at home. He hit the over on this line in every single game he played at home except for one, literally. Or actually two, sorry. So he finished with 60.5 against Philly, which was his first game of the year. And then he finished with 17.6, 21.6, 22.4, 24.6, 26, 29, and 35.2 last season versus Seattle, which is this exact same matchup that he gets here at home against Seattle. When last season he went for 378 passing yards, 4 touchdowns. Rushing yards don't matter, but 378 on 4 touchdowns, 26 of 39 pass attempts, 66.7% pass completion. Because you can see here, last season, Jared Goff at home, his splits home versus away are just absolutely insane. You can see here, last season at home, 23 pass touchdowns, 3 interceptions compared to only 6 pass touchdowns on the road and 4 interceptions, right? 2,472 yards passing at home, 1,900 passing yards on the road. We just know Jared Goff playing in this dome stadium, it's an absolute elite matchup for him. We just saw the Seahawks get torched by Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford did not throw a passing touchdown versus the Seahawks, and he finished with 17.5 fantasy. And in that game, I mean, just a couple of these Rams wide receivers, Tutu Atwell, Puka Nacua, both went for 119 yards on 16 receptions between the two of them. I mean, both these guys here, not even household names. You would consider household names in the running back or in the receiver room for the Rams. And Matthew Stafford was able to torch the Seattle Seahawks. And even looking at some props for Jared Goff over an outlier, he's at minus 174 on Caesars to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns, which again definitely correlates. Obviously, there's not a fantasy score player prop that odds for us to look at, but you correlate, passing touchdowns, heavy juice on the over. Minus 174 on Caesars to go over 1.5 passing touchdowns. And if we go to 2022 and we sort this by home games, look at the hit rate at home. He only missed this in one game last season at home, throwing less than 2 touchdowns. If we can get Jared Goff to throw over 250 pass yards and 2 touchdowns, that's a great base to start reaching the 17.5 fantasy score line that we're hoping for him to hit. But just simple, guys. Simple system type of play here. We look at Jared Goff, how he plays at home. It's absolutely elite, you guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What is this? 7 of 9 games last season when he played at home, he hit the over on this line. Take away that first game of the year versus Philly. He did finish with 16.5 fantasy in that game, but again, that was the first game of the year. The Detroit offense wasn't what it ended up being really towards the end of the year. I mean, we take a look at just the Detroit offense since week 12 of last year. 17.6, 24.6, 29.1, 29.7, and 22.4 over those last 7 weeks of the year. Jared Goff just went absolutely insane. I just love how Jared Goff plays at home, right? Plays at home on the turf as well. Indoors, you can see here. Look at this. Look at his splits for when he plays indoors, guys. 103 passer rating, 2,977 yards in the air, along with 24 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. And also, too, with the weapons that Jared Goff has, I mean, he doesn't have TJ Hawkinson anymore, but Sam Laporta is a very serviceable tight end. He's got, obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Josh Reynolds, and then he's got Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, who I think definitely complement each other in the backfield. All that combined with the Seahawks' weak secondary, and overall their weak pass defense. And I definitely think the Seahawks are going to be able to put up points on the board as well. Teams just score the ball, move the ball downfield a lot easier when there's indoor games. I like Jared Goff over 17.5 fantasy score as the first play. The second play, and again, I'm sure I'm going to get some comments on this play, but I was honestly looking at this play for like the last hour, and I'm taking Russell Wilson over 19.5 pass completions. You can see here, Russell Wilson, he gets a ton of hate, right? And he didn't play horrible in week 1. Obviously, the Broncos lost that game. But Russell Wilson, in this new Sean Payton type of offense, I think really can generate these pass completions pretty easily. He finished with 27 pass completions against the Las Vegas Raiders in week 1. We take a look at Russell Wilson. Like I said, 27 of 34 passes. He had a 79.4% pass completion percentage, which I believe was his second highest in the NFL, only behind Desmond Ridder, who only threw 18 passes. But 79.4% pass completion rating. He threw 34 passes, and he completed 27 of them, right? A ton of the passes that he was making, it's a super check down heavy type of, offensive scheme, even going back to the Drew Brees days, right? Like if we go to StatMuse real quick and we type in Drew Brees game log 2019, this is back when he had Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara. I mean, look at this game log for Drew Brees that year. 27, 28, 29, 29, 30, 32, 32, and 34 pass completions throughout those games. And he threw 29 plus pass completions in that season at home every single game at home. 29, 29, 30, 32, 32, and 34. And it's debatable. I mean, we know Russell Wilson has kind of had a bad year last year, obviously, but they are similar type of quarterbacks, right? They're not very tall. They can stand in the pocket. We know Russell Wilson a little bit more mobile than Drew Brees, but very similar. And I definitely think that's why Sean Payton kind of took this job with the Denver Broncos. Hopefully he can honing in on similar things that he did with Drew Brees. And we saw that in the week 1 game against the Las Vegas Raiders. So the Broncos-Raiders, they lost. Super low scoring game, right? This game was disgusting to watch. But Russell Wilson, 27 for 34. And look at the targets, right? Samaje Perine and Javonte Williams combined for 10 targets out the backfield, and they combined for 8 total receptions. That's 8 receptions from the running backs, right? We saw Adam Troutman and Courtland Sutton. Courtland Sutton had 4, Adam Troutman had 5. But the key here for this play that I do like, in considering he had 27 pass completions in week 1 without Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is in fact good to go for the Broncos here against the Commanders. Now, Jerry Jeudy, last season, you could debatably say Jerry Jeudy is Russell Wilson's number 1 target, right? Last season, towards the end of the year, I mean, they were really starting to heat up. Look at this since week 14 at the end of last season. Jerry Jeudy had targets of 9, 8, 10, 8, and 6, and he had receptions of 8, 7, 6, 7, and 5. Right? So you add a Jerry Jeudy who's probably good for at least at very conservatively 4 receptions to Russell Wilson offense and a Sean Payton offense where Russell Wilson just had 27 pass completions on 34 attempts, with a 70+% pass completion percentage. I think the sky's the limit. I definitely think this line is a little bit too low. We also did just see Josh Dobbs of the Arizona Cardinals go 21 for 30 against the Washington Commanders on the road. Like, Josh Dobbs is not the quarterback. No offense to Josh Dobbs, but he's not the quarterback Russell Wilson is as far as accuracy and just overall his experience in the NFL. I think this is like Josh Dobbs' 3rd overall NFL start. And he went 21 for 30. And I believe Josh Dobbs, taking a look at this, I mean, he finished with the 9th highest pass completion percentage in week 1, right? Josh Dobbs did. And I mean, those weapons that Josh Dobbs has, nowhere near the weapons that Russell Wilson has. We also just take a look at some odds here all around Outlier. Again, you can get a 7-day free trial and in the link in the description below. -121 on Caesars, -120 on BetMGM to go over 19.5. And then we kind of just take a look at Russell Wilson game log at home with the Broncos. Now, he's gone over this line in 5 of 7 games in his career now at home with the Broncos. 5 of 7 games in his career. We take a look at Outlier. We sort this by pass completions. Last season, 6 games at home, he went over this in 4 of 6. And if we include, if we include how he did this most recent game against the Raiders, 27, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 of 7 times at home, he has gone over this line. And like I said, the running backs in that running back room for the Denver Broncos, like Javonte Williams, he's a target machine. Like, he is a pass-catching running back. You can see the targets for Javonte Williams in his career as a Broncos running back. And then Samaje Perine, who's splitting carries and splitting backfield duties with Javonte Williams, is a pass-catching running back as well, which is kind of why he was brought in. We know Javonte Williams can catch the ball. Samaje Perine can catch the ball. So if we can get, like I said, they had 8 combined receptions from those running backs in that game against the Raiders. If we can just get like 6 or 7, like conservatively, receptions from Perine and Javonte Williams combined, I think this line should be an easy over considering Jared Jeudy is back as well. So again, Russell Wilson over 19.5 pass completions, Jared Goff over 17.5 fantasy score. Let me know in the comments below how you guys feel about these two plays. Drop a like. I drop content like this every single day. Hit that subscribe button, and as always, let's cash.